Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 165 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name is Geige. I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a good week. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard. We do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow that all of you do with your own shows and events and recordings. Two is to answer any of your questions. So if there are any topics you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave them in the chat. We love discussing things with all of you. So we'll do our best to get to all of them. And then number three, I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional stream. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. I see tons of people from all over the world hanging out. I think I saw Germany and Ireland and Canada. Very, very cool. Dave, of course, from Atlanta. Nice to see you here, Dave. I saw Eileen in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Eileen. Before I forget, we have lots of awesome shows, and we have a little snapshot picture I'll show at the end so you can get a sense of what's happening this week. So we have the Spotlight, the second Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is a show where Dana and Kelsey highlight folks like you, folks in the community, and how they're having success with streaming. So if you're looking for inspiration or you're interested in being featured yourself, definitely reach out to them and catch the show. We also have YouTube channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. Really great show if you're looking to up your YouTube game. They give super actionable feedback by doing reviews on actual channels and letting people know how they can improve things like thumbnails and titles and how often to post and how long the content should be. Really, really great stuff. We have Enhancer live streaming the last Tuesday of every month with Nick Nimmin, who's definitely a pro in the live streaming space and video space in general. He actually just went live very recently, so you can catch that on I think it's the most recent video on our YouTube channel. He gave some really great tips there, so definitely check that out. We have live stream reviews, which I think is now monthly, and the third Saturday at noon PST with Christian and Charles. Really fun show where they just do they go for a couple hours and do live feedback on different live streams. So lots of fun if you're looking for feedback. And for everything else, we have open office hours, 11 a.m. Eastern, Tuesday, the first and third week in the StreamYard Facebook group, which you can find if you just go to Facebook, type in StreamYard Community. It should be the first result there. That's with Julie and Mel. And for a quick visual of what's happening this week, got a quick picture here. So if you watch the recording and are curious, you can go back here and maybe give it a pause to see what's happening. So you can see lots of fun stuff going on. The event is a unique one. We have the Grow with StreamYard virtual stage presence this week on tomorrow on Tuesday. Should be a lot of fun if you're looking to have the best presence possible when it comes to either your streams or your events. All right. We've also been doing fun facts. So tonight, our fun fact was, we've been doing these just so you get to know us a little bit more. We get to know a little bit more about you. And tonight was actually favorite board game. Do you have a favorite board game, Dan?
Yeah, there's a few that probably stand out. The one I actually don't enjoy all that much is Monopoly, probably the most common one. I like the game Break the Safe. I don't know if you ever played that, just because it was cool that it was kind of a different twist where everyone was on the same team. That was the only part I really enjoyed about it all that much. And there's definitely others, but that was the first one that comes to mind. How about you?
Cool. It's a tough question for me. I was never really a board game person. I feel like I went through phases. I did actually like Risk for a while, despite it taking forever, but yeah, it was fun. But these days I don't play too many board games. They're always fun though when you pull one out. So I'll have to get into some. I know there's like new ones too that are popular. I'll have to try one of the new ones.
Yeah, same reason I didn't like Monopoly. It just takes hours and hours.
Yeah, and it's kind of people don't really like each other sometimes. Yeah. All right. We had lots of questions. Alvarez says, will you be able to stream 4K? I have a 4K camera. So right now, Alvarez, the max quality is 1080p. Could change at some point, but don't have a current date or anything like that for you. Recording would probably come first. If we do have a 4K option, it would likely first come to recording before live streaming. But stay tuned. Paranormal Gateway Paratalk says, is there any chance in the foreseeable future of having extra camera added to the basic plan? Right now, like you said, Paranormal, it is just on the pro plan. It's definitely possible. We're always changing plans up and things like that. So stay tuned. It could definitely change.
Yep. And always appreciate the feedback.
Let me get rid of this banner. I have a question from Jim who says, how can I know after the video what will be presented on the screen? You want to take that one, Dan?
How can I know after the video what will be presented on the screen? So it depends what you're referring to by screen. So this is because are you talking about a screen share or just screen as in the whole layout? Basically, whatever you see on StreamYard is exactly what you're going to see in the live stream itself. So like right now, Geige and I are streaming to a bunch of platforms. What we're seeing is exactly what it'll look like on the platform. If you're talking about screen sharing, though, maybe let me know. But that's basically the same thing. Whatever you see in the screen share is exactly what you'll see on the platform.
Cool. Let us know, Jim. Hopefully that answers the question. Agent Bay says, is there a way to share a recording without having to log in?
Cool.
So
yes, sort of.
If you have access to the link. So you're only going to be able to see the links to your past recordings if you log into the broadcast. But if you've shared the recording in the past or you happen to have the link somewhere, you can share it at any time.
Yeah, like essentially if your goal is to share a link with somebody else who's not part of your account, then yes, after the broadcast, just click on either in the studio you can do it or outside of the studio on your past broadcast page or on your videos page, you can click there and click the share button and share and embed. And there's a share link you can grab and you can just send that to someone if all you want is for someone else to be able to watch it. Hopefully that answers the question.
Hey, Andy, nice to see you here. Hope you're doing well. Stephen says, question, are there any video tutorials on how StreamYard works on mobile? There's definitely a video on the YouTube channel, Stephen. It might be out of date. We're in the process of updating them, but there is a video on there if you just type in StreamYard mobile on YouTube that should pop up. It's very similar to the web experience. So essentially everything you can do from your desktop, you can do from mobile. If you're super curious, you could even technically change the screen size and get a sense of I guess the features would be slightly different. So that's not a good test, but my best suggestion would be if that tutorial is out of date to just try a test screen from your phone. You should get a pretty good sense of how everything works, but you'll have access to everything, the banners, the comments, everything you can do on the desktop. You can essentially do on mobile with the exception of, I think the green screen feature is not available. Are there any other key differences, Dan?
That's the main one. Yeah, green screen and virtual background. I think everything else actually is accessible.
Awesome, Clarine. Hopefully it's helpful. JFlog says, annotations with a pen feature, is that coming for all?
Interesting.
Maybe,
yeah.
Request, Dan?
So it's not something we're actively working on, but I would be curious exactly what you'd want from that. So is this just something where maybe you have a shared whiteboard between everyone, or maybe you can just kind of write on the inside the broadcast and a pen just kind of appears? Be curious how you'd want it to work, and mostly just what you'd want to use it for. Because you can also use a shared whiteboard program if that's something, if your whole show is kind of centered around that, but if more just something you want to do for fun kind of as part of the show, then it's probably something we should try to build in just to make it easier. Cool. But no plans right now.
I'm just enjoying the favorite board games. I didn't realize how out of the loop I am on the sheer number of games. I think I've heard of 80% of these. I'll have to check out some of them. Michael says, I have a closet with 132 games, hence the reason for my live game shows. That checks out. Awesome. That's a lot of games. Have you played every single one, Michael, or are you a collector? Or I guess you could be both. But
yeah, that's crazy.
Diego says, curious, is there any way we can schedule the announcements for our live stream like we do for our pre-recorded airings? That's a very good question, Diego. Any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, right now you can't do that. So you cannot do that. But yeah, I'm open to that. I think if we could do it in a way where it doesn't kind of add a lot of bloat and make it harder to schedule a broadcast, I think it could be kind of cool.
Yeah, Diego, definitely something
or something, but that's not ideal.
Yeah. Definitely something we thought about, Diego. I think it's a cool suggestion, especially if you're on a team with lots of folks and you kind of want to like have a roadmap of all the stuff you're doing and just have it all pre-scheduled. I think it's a cool suggestion. All right. Thanks for the follow-up, Diego. Yeah, with the announcements, could make studios once a week. Good to know.
Cool.
Alvarez says, do you guys work with TubeBuddy? So TubeBuddy, it doesn't integrate directly with StreamYard, but it's specifically a YouTube add-on. So essentially everything you do with your live streams, TubeBuddy could help you with that. It's a Chrome extension and a web app that just helps with your analytics on YouTube. So it's in no way incompatible. It's just not really directly integrated with StreamYard, but all the streams you do with StreamYard on YouTube, TubeBuddy will certainly work with.
Yep.
Jim says, how can I add a animated lower third? So the built-in banners, Jim, are just sort of the template or the themes that we have, and you're sort of limited to those at the moment. If you want to do something custom, it is possible to upload a transparent GIF. I have seen some folks do that to great success where it looks really, really professional. It is quite a bit of work making a GIF for every single banner you want to show, but you can do that with a transparent banner and just click through them as you go through your show.
Yep.
All right, we'll get back to the questions in just a sec here, but before, I just want to make sure I don't forget to ask, because I was very curious. It's been a while now since we launched the slides feature, probably, what, Dan, like
3 months?
Oh, longer than I thought. So yeah, it's 3 months. We just wanted to check in for those of you that were keen on the slides feature. How many of you are actually using the feature versus still just using screen sharing to share your slides? Main reason we ask is if you are still screen sharing for your slides, why is that, and what would slides need to have for you to make the shift to uploading them directly in StreamYard? Just curious how we can improve that feature for you all. And the other thing I wanted to quickly mention, we do have, I need to check the actual date. It's not for a bit. The Education Industry Showcase is coming up. Wanted to mention in case any of you would be interested in speaking at it. If you do have experience in the education industry, I know lots of you do. Feel free to shoot an email to contact@streamyard.com, and someone from the team can work with you on a potential segment if you are keen on presenting.
Cool.
Hashtag Truth says, is there any talks of a background maker for different screens available?
Different screens.
So we did recently add, this might not be what you're referring to, but just in case, hashtag, we did recently add a bunch of default backgrounds. So like if you don't have a background on hand that you use for your streams, when you go to upload a background, you'll see there's a lot to choose from now that just look nice. Yep. We are we are interested in doing more with that. I know lots of people love making different overlays all the time and different backgrounds. So it's certainly possible that we might make more tools for that type of stuff. But let us know if that's what you're asking. Do you mean maybe streaming in different formats other than just 1280 by 720?
Yeah, or maybe the other one I was thinking, when you're talking about different screens, is this different layouts? So for example, like a background, maybe that looks really good in this layout instead of this one or something, or 3 people instead of 2. You can let us know that.
Cool. All right, what else did we have here? I just saw Scrabble as a suggestion. I forgot about Scrabble. Scrabble's probably my favorite, actually.
It's never very good at Scrabble. It's fun, though.
All right, what was the next one we had here? Jack says, can we get a hotkey option to toggle between solo and cropped solo layouts? Any new thoughts on hotkeys? Dan, it's been a while since we shipped the first version.
Can we get a hotkey option to toggle between solo and cropped solo layout? I'm just wondering what they mean by... Oh, sorry, this is the setting, right? I was thinking you could just switch between the layouts, but I get what you mean. Yeah, to turn that setting on and off. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think we could do that.
Cool. What else did we have here? Hey, Tube Data, glad that you're a fan. That's awesome.
Sweet.
Hardcore Harvey says, brand new to live streaming. Is there a certain frame rate that allows videos to play/share better? That's a good question, Harvey. The best bet is to try to share things as close to the actual rate that you're actually streaming at. So if you are using StreamYard, frame rate is going to be like whatever the exact number is, like 29.97 or something, right?
30, yeah.
Yeah, basically 30. So just trying to get it as close to that is going to be the best bet, Harvey. Same with the quality of the video. Some people make that mistake of trying to capture something in a really high, like in 4K or something, and stream that. But ultimately, if you're ultimately streaming in 1080 or 720, it doesn't really matter if you're capturing at that high of a quality, and it can actually make it more difficult to encode. So your best bet is to just capture it as close to the actual output that you're streaming at.
Yep. Yeah, it shouldn't have a huge impact, but definitely if you're trying to get it just right, that'll help.
All right. Another question we wanted to touch on tonight was other tools you'd like to see from StreamYard. So one of the things that we released in the past was obviously that giveaway functionality. So curious if there's anything outside of the core product that is maybe related to live streaming that would be useful in the same way that the giveaway tool was a popular request. Was just curious about that.
Cool.
What about you, Dan? Is there any tools, kind of putting you on the spot, any tools that you'd personally want to see?
One of the ones that always, it's not really a tool. One of the ones, this isn't for me, but that comes up pretty often is like a score ticker or something. I don't know that we would build that in, but if we had a cool way to kind of allow that, I've always thought that'd be cool. Like if you're talking about a live sport, there's a basketball game going on or something, you could show like a live score ticker. If we could support that, I always think it'd be cool. But there's all kinds of other things I would also like personally. But I don't want to bias everyone in the chat.
Cool. Sounds like most people are fans of the slides feature. Good to know. I'm just seeing if there's anyone that is still sticking to screen sharing. Oh, Pete is, so that's good to know. Pete, always need the audio. Yeah,
Yep.
If you're sharing with audio, that's something we don't have in the slides feature yet, so that's good to know.
Yeah, audio or video.
Same with the animations, like Dave said. Right now is limited to just the static images in the slide. So there are those things, but hopefully in the future we can continue to improve it. Susie says, what is the best way to schedule a Facebook event? Currently I select an external event. However, before the event, it says the link is broken.
Interesting.
So Facebook events are not actually a destination on StreamYard, Susie. So like when you create an event, that's something that happens on Facebook itself. So maybe if you could give us a bit more detail, or support might be your best bet. They can walk you through the process of events versus pages. But if you're streaming to a Facebook event, you have to set up on Facebook and then use the custom RTMP option. All right, let's see what else we have here. Josh says we don't have to recommend double monitor setup anymore with the slides feature. Yeah, that was one of the big reasons, so that's good to hear, Ja.
Yes.
Sounds like Michael is a fan as well. That's awesome.
Cool.
Dr. Mandana says upload slides are good, but when we need presenter notes, we stay with the old slide share. It's a good piece of feedback. Good to know that.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Why is the shrunken cell layout a preference setting rather than a layout? It's a good question, Alan. We actually chatted about that. I don't remember what the key points were. What are your thoughts on that one, Dan?
Yeah, it'd be best to almost go back to that video. Essentially, it made it easier to switch between certain layouts. Like it was also the type of thing we figured most people are going to choose it one way and keep it that way. And then it also made it really easy for putting a certain user into that layout. So for example, if like I'm the second person in the studio, if Geige wanted to put me directly into that layout, it wouldn't really be possible, or wouldn't be as easy, or we'd have to add a bunch of buttons if we wanted to make it easy for you to do that. Like if you want to be able to put any of your guests directly into that layout with a nice smooth animation, whereas you can do that with how we've done it. So it kind of just makes the animations look better, which helps with higher quality shows. And then our hope was that most people would just set it one way and always leave it that way. Like that's what I do. I think that's what most people do. But yeah, it does. The trade-off is that if you do need to switch back and forth between them, it is a little more cumbersome. So yeah, there's a trade-off.
Cool. Josh says advanced feature requests. I'd love to be able to create my own layouts. Yeah, that's definitely come up a few ways. Josh, something that our team's actively exploring and figuring out how we can tuck that away while keeping things simple for sort of the new folks that come in and just want to quickly click between the default layouts, but definitely something we're aware of and thinking about.
Yeah, it's always a balance for us between, as you guys know, ease of use is so important. So we're always trying to make it super easy, but then, yeah, want to give you as much customization as possible while still keeping it easy.
Carlos says, does the live work better if I wire up my iPad straight to the internet router, or will using it wirelessly be sufficient? Just depends on the quality of the connection, Carlos. If you're close enough to the router and you have strong enough signal and the right speeds, wireless can be totally fine. If you want to have the absolute best chance of success, if you can, I always suggest hooking up to an internet router if it's possible. iPad, that can be a bit more difficult. So when I'm streaming from mobile devices, I'll generally just use wireless and it works fine. But if you can, by all means.
Yep.
Luke says closed captioning would be a great tool to have. That's a great suggestion, Luke. That's something we've wanted for our own events as well. Yeah, we'll have to think about that one.
And also curious, Luke, is there a certain platform you want it for? Like, are you streaming to some kind of unique platform, or is this just for the social platforms or the recording itself, or just curious?
Cool. Yeah, and if it is for the social platforms, Luke, curious if it's just the quality of the social platforms captions are not quite good enough, or they're not the right, or if there's just something else you need with them, let us know. See a few requests or a few suggestions for a polls feature as a separate sort of third-party tool we can make. That's a great one. Polls would be a good one for sure. They don't come up as often as I would think, given, you would just think the polls would be a common one. All right. Should we go ahead and start queuing up the giveaway, Dan? I didn't realize how close we were to time.
You bet we should.
Pete says tools, show manager for templates and duplicating common show settings. It's a cool suggestion. I think at least for duplicating the show settings, we'll definitely at some point make it easier to duplicate past broadcasts directly in StreamYard, Pete, not necessarily with a separate tool. In terms of a show manager, even template stuff, those things we'll probably end up adding into StreamYard. Brian says, I want to know what my viewers are seeing / hearing without having to do a test recording. Yeah, that's a fair request, Brian. It does come up occasionally. It's definitely possible for us to add something like that. So yeah, appreciate the suggestion. Don't have a date or anything for it, but something we'll continue to think about. You have any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Yeah, it's tricky. Like, obviously, the one way to do it, if you want to do this while live, is to just go to the destination and watch it there. If like that's the way to get the real output, because you never know. Maybe Facebook's having some kind of weird issue, and that's very rare, but you never know. Yeah, other than that, I think a test record is probably the best way to get a sense of that. I'd also be curious, Brian, if it's something where like you have a new guest and you really want to try it out with that new guest and see how they're sounding compared to you, like how your volume levels compare, or if it's something you literally do every time you go live, maybe just by yourself or with the same person every time. If you let us know that, it'd be useful.
Michael says it would be nice to have the giveaway integrated. This way we could use it on mobile since mobile can't screen share. It's a good point. Yeah, at some point we would like to make it more integrated than having to share the screen. Michael? Okay, so it looks like most of you are familiar with the draws, but if you're new to these, we do a giveaway every week, and to be eligible, all you have to do is type in #the_yard from where you're tuning in from. And tonight we'll be giving away, Dan and I aren't wearing the sweaters tonight, but we'll give away a StreamYard sweater and that pillow that Dan has in the background there. It's a pillow with the StreamYard duck. We'll give you guys a little bit of time here to get in the hashtag the yards. And like we mentioned earlier, this tool we actually made available. So if you ever want to do your own giveaways, you can just go to StreamYard.com/giveaway and run your own. Susie says, I love the pre-recorded feature. Is there a way to show the comments for pre-recorded videos to give comments similar to the live videos? Not right now, Susie. Right now, it's just the video output. You can, of course, watch alongside the live video since you're not actually doing it live and comment there, but you can't actually show them on screen unless you were to. One thing that I have seen people do is in the pre-recorded stream, essentially get comments beforehand that they've seen in their groups or on their social channels, and basically make graphics for them and sort of display them like that. But not the live comments, but at some point we definitely might add that. All right, should we go ahead and do the giveaway, Dan?
I think we're good. Good luck, everyone.
Gleber, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. You just won the StreamYard sweater and the StreamYard pillow. Dana from our team will reach out to you on Facebook to get your shipping information and size and things like that. But yeah, congrats again.
Cool. Very exciting.
All right, we have time for a few more questions here. Leonard says, are there any plans to increase the max number of destinations? At some point, we likely will. Leonard, I'd be curious how many you'd ultimately like to go to. Right now, the max is obviously 8 right now.
8 on Pro. Yeah.
8 on Pro. But yeah, at some point we will likely bump that up, maybe through an add-on or just increasing it in general. Alan wants to move assets between brand folders. We don't currently have any way to do that.
We don't. No, that's fair.
So it's definitely a fair request, Alan. At some point, we'll likely try to figure out a way to enable that. Dave says, in terms of a feature or tool he'd like to see, registration for streams with a calendar integration to remind people to tune in at a specific time and link to the Facebook/YouTube. Yeah, that's a great suggestion, Dave. We definitely want to do more with integrations when it comes to things like Calendly and Google Calendar in general. So we're definitely open to that.
Yep.
Awesome, Diego. Glad you're enjoying the slides. John says, tool suggestion, a good visible audio monitor today did a stream and my audio cut out and didn't know for a few minutes. Yeah, if you forgot to unmute or something like that, John. We've played around with a few different things there, but we never actually ended up shipping visible ones outside of, it does show it in the tiles, right?
No, only within your camera and mic settings. We found it was kind of distracting to show it all the time.
Got it. It's only in the settings, but something we'll continue exploring and thinking about, John.
Yep.
Hella Base says, is there a way to fix YouTube member comments and custom emoji so that custom emojis come into StreamYard? So right now,
go
ahead.
I think it's Hella Bass.
Oh, Bass. Yes, my mistake.
But yeah, confusing. Just from the picture. Either way, it's cool.
You've got better eyes than me, but yes. Yes, that's a good question. Bass. Right now, the super chats do come in, and it does identify when members of the channel comment. When we first implemented, we weren't actually able to access the emojis through the YouTube API. That may have changed. Do we have any?
I can check. Yeah, I can check again. It was the stickers. The stickers didn't come through. If that's what you're referring to.
Cool.
If not, if it's something else, let us know. Like if some other part of YouTube super chats or member stuff isn't working, let us know. But we are aware that stickers, we don't show the actual sticker. We just show the amount.
Cool. But yeah, it may have changed, and it's something we'd love to support. All right, there's tons of questions here that we did not get to. Actually, a lot of them are hashtag the art. So hopefully we got to most of the questions. We'll double check afterwards. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. It's always a pleasure spending time with all of you. It makes it fun working on StreamYard. So thanks for tuning in. This was episode 165 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall, and we will see you guys next week at the same time.
Always great chatting with you, everyone.